For some reason, my favorite part of this chapter is just picturing Historia drunk and out of her mind, stumbling up to Eren and saying everyone has to go back to the wall. They just freaking lost half their people. Rainer's bleeding out his stump. Mikasa's crushed up, her ribs are broken, and she's like, we have to go back into the battle. In the original Japanese version of this chapter, there's 3 more pages where she is frantically saying they need to go rescue Ymir. And everyone's like, what the hell are you talking about? Ymir joined R&B. We're not doing that. I wanted to talk about Armin really quickly, though, because up until now, he's set up as the character that's always right. Like, his ideas, if he has an opinion, it's going to be correct, and that's just the narrative setup. He presented an idea, though, that I have trouble agreeing with. He was basically saying that Annie had the power to control Titans, and this is evidence when she called all the Titans to go attack her. The reason I have a problem with this, though, if this is true, and she has this coordinate power, why does R&B and who's ever controlling them care about Eren so much? He would lose his importance if this coordinate power was possessed by Annie and potentially others. Also, there's a simple explanation for what occurred when Annie howled and the Titans came over. They could have just been Titans that were around and they heard her cry and they're like, let's go see if there's something to snack on. So a large part of this chapter is focused on Connie, and in my opinion, he's got it worse than freaking Eren. He's assigned to part of Hanji's team who's investigating what happened to his hometown, Ragako. And basically they discover that all the citizens transformed into Titans. There was no blood found. The buildings were all smashed from the inside. And the exact number of Titans found within the wall after the incident was the same number that disappeared from Connie's hometown. So that's confirmed. He's forced to see his mom, though, who's now transformed into this huge-ass Titan who's straddling a house backwards and just looking gross. The team is taking turns nailing her arms into the ground to confine her, because she's a Titan. She just wants to eat everyone. But he's forced to witness that, his own mother. And then on top of that, he recalls originally when he had told his teammates how one of the Titans, his mom, had talked to him and said, welcome home. And he remembers how adamant Rainer and Ymir were in saying that, nah, he couldn't have heard that right. Because basically they knew someone had caused this and they were trying to hide it. But it's pretty sickening to be betrayed by the people you thought were your friends when it concerns your own family. So I really relate to Connie in this chapter. On the opposite side of things, Erwin, who just had his arm eaten by a Titan, is happy as a clam. He's doped up in bed. Not sure if they actually gave him drugs, but he's like weirdly smiling at everyone. And even Erwin calls him out. They're basically discussing how they believe that all the Titans have a human origin. And Erwin is just weirdly smiling at this. And Levi's like, you're being a creep. Why the hell does this make you happy? And he just says, nothing. And goes on to say how ever since he's a little kid, people have been calling him a creep. There's something going on with his character that I just can't pin down. I don't think he's a Titan, but he definitely has a lot of information about them. And there may be some ulterior motive occurring with him. If anyone is kind of sick and twisted, though, in this chapter, in my opinion, it's Erwin. He's trying to set up this situation by sending Eren alone with his friends in a hideout where he's going to need either to protect their lives or going to witness one of them die. And this is to train his coordinate power. But in my opinion, you could accomplish that way easier and more directly. I'm sure Hanji has a stock of Titans that you can use for experiments. So just sit Eren in front of one of them and try to get him to use his coordinate power and slowly develop it. Alright guys, any comments you leave and I will discuss them in chapter 52 review.